spill today. That's good. Yes, time to go get flying. More heresy in the snow. I don't want any. Zells in the snow as well? Yep. Almost there. Start off with doing this just right here. A side quest I need to get flying. Not in real life, I didn't. Want to help out, do you? Well, there's plenty that needs doing, and killing besides. I'm sure you've noticed that dragons aren't the only thing we've to contend with out here. Take the polar bears, for example. They come here looking for an easy meal, drawn by the smell of our cook fires, and then raid our stores. You think you could thin their numbers a little? Killing 4 or so of them should suffice. You'll be compensated for your troubles, of course. Okay. I'll go kill 4 polar bears. Four of them? Yeah. I thought it was Coca-Cola bears, though. Well, you're certainly more reliable than any lordling I've ever met. They've only got eyes for dragons, even though I tell them time and time again that if no one sees those bears, they'll be nary a scrap to eat. But do they listen? I dare say everyone around here could stand to be a little more like you. Well, I said you'd be compensated, and I'm true to my word. I try still consider this a fair remuneration for your efforts. Alright, what do I want? I will take bacon bread. If we are to lure our foes into our position, we must find a means of producing a signal of purple hue. And as it so happens, I once heard the tale of a trapper who dropped the hide of a woolly yak onto his campfire. Aside from the terrible stench, the story also described in detail how the smoke from the smothered flames was tinged a deep violet. You are a monster hunter of some note, are you not, Magnormus? It should prove a fitting task for you to procure a number of hides. We may need to burn more than one ere the heretics notice our beacon. Master Alphino, you and I shall gather wood for the fire. Aye, it will take us, the both of us, to find enough to dry fuel in this frozen wasteland. Let us meet again at the Dreaming Dragon with the fruits of our labor. Here for its belt. These. No more currents. This one. It would seem that collecting firewood is a new experience for Master Alphino. He must have been a privileged must have been a privileged upbringing. Have you the hides we need? Yeah, you got them right here.
I should have known it would be you. Word reached me of a struggle with a small but well-armed band of trespassers. Forgive my comrades their hostility. Few come here uninvited, and fewer still with good intent. Now, tell me why you are here.
Wish to stop Nidhogg's attack on Ishgard.
So, you seek to stem the Dravanian tide with talk? A romantic notion. If you but knew the truth, the spark which lit the flames of this animosity, you would understand the futility of your quest. Shall I relate it to you? The sordid history my gift has shown me. That which the Holy See has taken such pains to suppress. 'Twas more than a millennium past when an Elezen tribe first sought to claim the lands of Kurthas as its home. Unfortunately for them, Kurthas was already home to dragonkind, and they were not inclined to make way for the invaders. Thus did a bloody war begin. A war which might well have rumbled on until one or the other side was exterminated, had it not been for the resolve of a single woman. That woman's name was Shiva. While those around her fought and died, she attempted to parley with the dragons, and in so doing discovered them to be possessed of profound intelligence and reason. The great worm, Heavensward, in particular so enchanted Shiva that she found herself growing to love the creature, whom her people considered a monster. In the eyes of a near-immortal dragon, however, the fleeting life of an Elezen is as that of a freshly cut rose. Scarce has the flower bloomed before it begins to fade and wither. Such melancholy musings plagued Heavensward, who had found in Shiva an unexpected and beloved soulmate. He knew that all too soon, death would snatch her away from him. Unable to bear the thought of their separation, the maid bid the worm consume her, that their spirits might be entwined for eternity. Though loath to perform the deed, Heavensward ultimately gave in to her plea, and soon thereafter the tale of their ill-fated love spread throughout the two warring factions. No more could they raise blade or claw against one another, knowing that the souls of their kin were so inextricably bound. In the days that followed, man and dragon learned to live in harmony, and together built a nation unlike any the world had ever known. For 200 years did this blissful age of peace continue, as it would to this day, had vilest envy not stirred in the hearts of the Elezen. It is said that worms owe their longevity to the boundless reserves of vitality found within their eyes. And 'twas in this belief that a traitorous band of knights deceived their allies of some 2 centuries, and took by force that which they coveted. Nidhogg, he who now stands poised to unleash his wormlings upon Ishgard, was the great dragon who lost an eye to Elezen treachery. And until he prizes it from the hands of the traitor's progeny, no amount of conciliatory words will stay his fury.
You are wrong, Lady Iceheart. Lest you misunderstand, I do not doubt your vision of the past. 'Tis true that Nidhogg greatly desired to reclaim the Eye.
Yo.
Indeed, it was for that very reason that I kept it with me as I roamed the land, attempting to draw him away from the city. Until recently, Nidhogg seemed unable to resist its allure and pursued me relentlessly. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. Now, it would seem, he has fixed his attention on Ishgard itself, though he knows full well the eye does not reside there.
You believe he targets the capital for another reason?
I believe reason has all but left him. Through the eye, I feel much of what Nidhogg feels, and the dragon's thirst for vengeance will not be quenched by aught less than a sea of blood.
If Nidhogg is indeed lost to reason, might we not seek an audience with Hraesvelgr instead? He has thus far shown no inclination to aid in the invasion of Ishgard, and may yet welcome our efforts to broker a peace.
You still believe that a peaceable solution can be found? Very well. I will take you to him. Our road will lead us to Dravania, the homeland of dragonkind. There we shall ascend unto the clouds, where Hraesvelgr resides.
One of my crack rocks came back.
Is autumn mist, my friend? I sense the many battles are beginning to take their toll. Rest a while, and should you lose sight of us, Dravania lies beyond the mountains to the west.
Curious. The vestiges of thy mistress's blessing are not as faint as once they were. Thy will to succeed grants thee unusual fortitude. But will it be enough?
You are Magnarmus, yes? Pray address me as Isao, if you wish. 'Tis passing strange, is it not, that fate should bring us together thus? However, did I think to walk alongside the Warrior of Light? Never did I think to walk alongside the Warrior of Light. But history is full of such unexpected alliances. Shall we make our way to into Dravania, then? The chill of the Western Highlands is unrelenting, and I would sooner be under the sheltering canopy of the Chocobo Forest. Yep, got flying on this map, so...
Beyond Abalathia's spine, The great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som-Al, where lies the ancient home of Dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
All right, we're out of the snow. But I can't fly on this map now, so I gotta do the stuff for here. We now stand on the threshold of Dravania. The path to Som-Al will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest's branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead and see that we are properly provisioned? There's a village here? But I thought these lands sole domain of Dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in so perilous a place? The wild chocobos, Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Marichamp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival. And he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections? Only to the ceaseless chatter. If we are to meet with this acquaintance of yours, let us do so before Ishgard burns. To stop me from getting even. Tan my hide and call me Leatherface. Oh my gosh. We have visitors. Oh, and if it ain't the lovely Asal. It's been too long, girl. That it has, Marichamp, that it has. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Som-Al. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while? Prepare for the next leg of our journey? Of course. Stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bothers? Did Asal not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering elm trees all about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. As you'd expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere. And we do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome now. Now, I know it won't stop us out here, but dragons ain't the only things you'll need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're set on heading west. Give me the... I see you've been making the rounds, getting to know the hunters in these parts. Well, how'd you like to help a real hunter? I'm overseeing the 3 camps set up to the east, but the lazy sods ain't sent me a report in over a fortnight, and I'm too bleeding busy to be playing messenger. You look right fierce enough to get the information out of them. It's a simple job that'll earn you some coin. Can't rightly say no to that. If that tickles your fancy, then you'll need to talk to the leaders of each camp. Nulf, Gonerett, and Emibert. Hear what they have to say and get back to me when you're done. Main quest. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you, the bloody Nath. They're what you might get if you cross an antling with a megalo crab and taught the thing how to walk on 2 legs. They never used to stray far from the hives out of fear of the dragons, but they've gotten a lot more aggressive as of late, sending out war parties for moms in all directions. They've been taken to harassing the Dravanians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. When they venture into the forest, which is more and more by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'd be closer to Nath's home territory. It would seem that much has changed in Dravania. The Nath were not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here in Dravania? Aye, 'twas in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone, and I fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That's when I chanced upon Heavensward. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence once visited upon me. Thankfully, Marachamp found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees and nursed me back to health, and in Tailfeather I remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals, but I interrupted you. You were saying these Nath were once a peaceful people? Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside of the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They've changed then, what of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush on some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Sawmal and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path then, very well. Let us first follow the trail west out of the forest and make our way to the statue of the Stained One. From there, we should have a fair view of the road that leads to Sawmal, shall we? East. Talk to 3 hunters. Hi, things are going well enough. Been running into a bit of trouble with those giant bugs in these woods, though. Right. Guy? Nothing but out of the ordinary here. There's just the one bird that won't shut up. Haven't been able to catch a wink for all its bloody screeching. says. That part of the main quest. There. Over here. Had ourselves a bit of an incident the other day. Some fiend came stomping out of the tree line and gobbled up one of our fresh-caught birds. Wasn't a damn thing we could do about it. We're gonna keep out on in this area. We'll need some extra hands. You tell the chief that. I'm gonna tell the chief real quick, and then I'll come back and do the main quest. So they've all got issues, but none of them thought to ask me for help. Do they think I'll bite off their heads or something? At any rate, I'd best prepare to round up the birds from each camp. Thanks again for your help, friend. Say, since you've already stuck up an acquaintance with my own people and all, maybe you'd be willing to lend them a hand. Seems they talk to you of their troubles readily enough. Alright. That done. Next area. Till we chanced to meet Marchamp again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the Nath, I doubt I would be standing here. Amid ruins that I tentatively describe as Ishgardian, the style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alphino. The structure is, in fact, over 1,000 years old. It is a remnant of the age where our ancestors and Dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this as evidence of our harmonious past. I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honor of your Dravanian masters. This rubble inspires no such awe in me. Stubborn fool, how desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Magnarmus, pray reason with these two. The truth of the past will be revealed. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent such a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in Magnarmus's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Estinian. You would have me keep my counsel until Magnarmus's visions confirm the truth? Very well. Fate me not. Our meeting with Hraesvelgr will likely provide the catalyst Magnarmus' gift requires, as it did mine. Let us press on. More money. Now we've gone from heresy in the snow to heresy in the woods. By you, the three great towers to the west, Ishgardians know them as Annex Trine. The place serves as a roost for Hraesvelgr's lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Salmal, then we must first beseech these dragons to open the way. But do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concerned in the disposition of the Nath, let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. We escaped the snow, at least. It's as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Nath soldiers. Our champ did not exaggerate, then. These beastmen have grown brazen indeed if they would threaten the dragon so openly. Did they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray they do not. Mighty though my Dravanian friends are, they are yet vulnerable to the Nath's muskets. There is no route save the one before us. If the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. Press on forward. take no pleasures in killing the Nath. It's to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you on this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together. But leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. And keep your lance on your back, Dragoon. My word is to the Warrior of Light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. You are truly beyond salvation. Come then.
Vidofnir!
Ah, 'tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Nath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight. Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sires will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Resvelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here and protect my kin from the Nath's god.
The Nath have summoned a primal.
Oh, cool. I eat those for breakfast.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed? 'Tis beyond thee, mortal. But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
So the Nath have summoned their god, and thus this is the mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva for further mine own ends. I desired her strength only to forge a new peace between man and dragon. But what fool am I to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought of or compunction? Enough, enough, I say. If the Nath have truly brought forth their deity from the ether, we must face it together or watch the hopes of fall apart. All now rests upon this primal's defeat. Ere we think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies, you are right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Marchamp. He knows more of the Nath and their culture than most. First, rock over here. Oh, back already, are we? And met the Nath, did you? What is it which you'd like to? Summoned a primal, you say? 7 hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about the Nath religion. If I'm honest, beyond their trading habits, they never seem much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time, we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves, if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. And what exactly would a Nath consider to be the right incentives? Oh, nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two. But seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You'll want a good-sized jar of landtrap nectar, a basket of calum-free fruit, and as always, a Nath favorite, a generous portion of young Nanka flesh. I shall gather the fruit, leaping up to the lower branches of the forest giants should present little challenge to me. Then I shall collect the nectar with Master Alphanov's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meat. You'll need to carve it from the smaller Nankas that live in the rivers. 3 hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post here. I'll mark the spot on your map for you. You have been most kind, Master Marchamp. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nanka egg. have to collect those to unlock flying in the area. That's dead. Done. Quest completed. Give food to this guy. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without Isal's help. You have the Nanka meat? Here it is. Splendid. I shall put this with Asinian's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Nath. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings at the trading post as instructed. Were I of the Nath, I think I would be suitably impressed. Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourself, Master Alphino. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Bug people. How long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents? Trap nectar, elm tree fruit, and Nanka flesh. What delectable foods you have brought for us. Our meager existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters. We must to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it's not far. Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak to our chosen leader in words. For we are Vath. We are the non-mind. No, non-mind. They just say they're stupid. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You've brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honored elder. pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home, and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I have come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone, what strange hunters you are. But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are Vath, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the terror of the Nath's god, the god of the One Mind, summoned into our midst. One Mind? These are the Nath who reside in the main colony? Yes, they are one connected. But let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren. And with spear and spell and musket, the dragon was slain. It was likely one that had fled the battle with my kinsmen. I should commend you for finishing the job. Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground. But no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Dravanian was easy to prey. Thus did the One Mind decide to heed the words of the Black Robe Men. One Mind would call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Dravanian lands would become Nath lands, and ever larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. We of the Vat despise and revile his insatiable existence. Give me that. You got anything correct? Know we hear not each other's thoughts, generous hunter. You somehow know that we need help. Our weapon stocks are wanting. We need more. I would make a request for you. Please bring us muskets with which to defend ourselves. You can take them from the Nath nearby. 2 would be sufficient. Alright, they want 2 guns. And then you. I call upon the power of a primal for greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at grave cost to the land. I reason that it is a necessary evil, and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. Suggestion that such crimes can be justified may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am well aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Nath. They summon their deity with no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a scion of the Seventh Dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, this distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Not so the Nath. As you rightly put it, if they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant to the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alphino, a being of whom we know not. Has it occurred to you that we may be sending the Warrior of Light to his death? No, you have the right of it, Estinian. It would seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me, Magnarmus. I don't fear my duty. I want to go kill the bug god. Wait, Magnarmus need not face this foe alone. Like him, I am blessed with the Echo's protection, and may do battle without fear of primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Ha! Do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters, we know not where this god resides, nor how to challenge it, unless you mean to pray until it appears. Justinian makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vath and learn how to best secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, I may be of assistance. Need a fly swatter. Oh, for the bug. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. Bug people, bug people. We are Vath, we are non-mind. We do not hear the one mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. What about you? What do you have to say? Put this idea from your minds. Generous hunters, if you meet with our god, then he will have your souls. Surely you are not so generous as that. Yep, they'll try to temper us. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourselves as a sacrifice, and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. You are generous hunters, yes. Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vath to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one more? We are very fond of Nanka flesh, yes. Meat of a young Nanka would make a fine repast. Back to the river. Take care of that bug yet? We Vath do enjoy our Nunca flesh. Have you brought one? Another gift for the Vath? So unexpected. Yes, you will have more of the words you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the one mind are enmeshed by the overmind. One that sees all sees. One who, what one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single Nath and the whole hive is alerted. Reach our god undetected is all but impossible. Vath are wont to alert to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I am beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. What I understand, the king, like Overmind, sits at the center of the Nath society. His presence somehow allows its subjects to communicate without need of word or gesture. These Nath, ones who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was by their combined will that the Primal was summoned. Those who reside in the smaller hive, however, are the Vath or the Non-Mind, who, for reasons that yet escape me, have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects their Nath counterparts. Thus the Vath are ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions, and of the nature of their own god. In summary, we have wasted our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Vath did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the Primal, the sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environs of the colony, the Nath will bring us before their deity to make an offering of our souls. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is that you propose. You mean to say that you would deliberately provoke the Nath, surrender yourself into what might be generously the term of their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul? Aye, that fairly well describes my plan. Will join me in this endeavor, will you not, Magnarmus? If I get to fight a bug god, I definitely will. Judging by the great risks you took preventing the summoning of Saint Shiva, you are not the man to err on the side of caution. That I can fight at your side, Warrior of Light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against its primal influence. For Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alphino. Then it is settled, Magnarmus. You and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance to the colony. Once the hive is roused, we shall feign a brief show of resistance and then allow them to take us prisoner. Let's go. Do that. Straight down there. Okay. What's up, bitch? Intruders, your lives are forfeit. Kill a couple for their guns. Passing through. Staff or something real quick. I have to offer some resistance first. Alright, now I'll go surrender myself to him.